Yo, so apparently, right, there's something wrong with our sun, and we're about to find out.
On March 12, 2023, a powerful shockwave from an X-class flare on the sun covered Earth. The SOHO spacecraft recorded a giant ejection of a fiery mass. Its expanding cloud was carried away towards Earth's orbit at incredible speed, more than 2,000 kilometers per second. Only the fact that this eruption happened on the far side of the star helped us avoid a real catastrophe. But in the first 3 months of 2023, there were already 7 strongest X-class flares, and it's exactly the number of flares recorded for the entire past year. Scientists are seriously concerned about the unprecedented activity of the sun.
Mind you, I don't know if it's just me, but I haven't heard anything about this in the media, on the Weather Channel, anywhere.
They attribute it to the star approaching the peak of its 11-year cycle, warning that it could become the strongest in history. So we definitely can't avoid destructive shocks.
If you're enjoying the content so far, please hit the subscribe
Ever since
button.
ancient
And
times, people have noticed dark spots on the sun, but it wasn't until 1852 that Swiss astronomer Rudolf Wolf noticed that the same dynamics occur on the sun every 11 years. In the first 5 or 6 years, the number of sunspots increases, and having reached its maximum, it decreases for the same number of years. During each such cycle, the magnetic poles of the sun change places. First, they're deformed because the star's layers rotate around their axis at different speeds. Then dark spots form at the places of deformation. The larger they are, the stronger the flare will be, and the greater the likelihood of a coronal mass ejection, which is the ejection of plasma from the outer layer of the sun. On September 1st, 1859, in the town of Redhill near London, astronomer Richard Carrington observed a group of such spots when he discovered an unusual flash of light that lasted about 5 minutes. Almost
imagine having the technology to observe the Earth back in the 1850s. That's insane.
18 hours later, a real rehearsal for the end of the world began on Earth. In the northeastern United States, dawn suddenly came in the middle of the night, and the brightest northern lights passed all over the world to the very equator, where it's basically impossible to observe such a thing. Telegraph equipment in Europe and North America sparked and ignited on its own, and the excess electricity in the air was so strong that messages from New York to Pittsburgh were sent automatically. Carrington was the first to not only record this colossal flare, but also link it to geomagnetic disturbances on Earth. The sun had been erratic and flared up regularly for 5 full days prior. That didn't affect our planet, but prepared a corridor along which the solar mass ejection flew nonstop. That's why the charged particles didn't reach the Earth's magnetic field in 3 or 4 days, as is usually the case, but crashed into it directly in just a few hours. That provoked such a powerful shockwave. Almost 2 centuries later, electricity has become just as important a part of our lives as air. Therefore, the consequences of such an explosion today are scary even to imagine. Losses will be estimated in trillions of dollars, and it could take decades to repair the damage. But what if we just prepare for life without light and stock up on generators for a whole year? To answer this question, we need to figure out in what other ways solar flares can affect our planet. The main blow is taken by Earth's magnetic field, which, together with the atmosphere, protects us from cosmic radiation. The most powerful outbreaks can lead to the spontaneous combustion of de-energized power lines, but the sun can hit us not only from the air. In 1972,
I don't lie, the more I watch these videos, the more I am like, I won't say scared, but like nervous and like worried about the future, because it's nothing like, hey, this is going to be great, gonna have something great gonna happen. It's always like disaster and natural this and the end of this, and it's like so crazy, bro. It's like Yeah. Like it make you not want to be around to
More
experience
than
any of
60
this.
underwater mines off the coast of Vietnam detonated in a seemingly mystical way. In fact, they were equipped with magnetic fuses. Those had to respond to changes in the magnetic field due to a submarine's approach. But instead, they were triggered by a geomagnetic disturbance after the outbreak. Besides, the treacherous sun is able to penetrate not only the magnetic field, but also the very crust of our planet. Experts from the National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology in
Interesting.
Rome compared 20 years of seismic activity with the SOHO data and came to some startling conclusions. They argue that solar flares can even trigger earthquakes of magnitude greater than 5.6. Positively charged plasma protons colliding with Earth's magnetic field create electromagnetic currents that propagate throughout the planet. Their impulses deform chords in Earth's crust and destabilize faults already close to breaking. Scientists believe that such mechanical deformations
Look at a tsunami. Like, imagine seeing this in person, or you on this bridge stuck in traffic and seeing a tsunami. Like,
can cause earthquakes and
holy.
tsunamis. But that's not all. In a study of 2021, Scottish physicist Hugh Hudson claims that the radiation from the Carrington flare contained the energy of 10 billion 1 megaton nuclear bombs. But 10 times more powerful flares can occur approximately every 3,000 years. And every 6,000 years, the sun flares up 100 times stronger. Sooner or later, our Earth will definitely not escape a crushing blow from the star. Charged particles will reach us in less than a day and rain down all over the planet. They'll lead to excess current in our electrical grids, which will cause colossal power surges. Power plants and substations will fail, and fires will start everywhere, which will be quite challenging to put out without means of communication. Many areas will remain